Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use market profile and volume profile indicators on GoCharting.com. So I have my browser and the GoCharting website on. This is Google Chrome that I'm using on Windows. So uh, let's choose any instrument. Let's say Nifty futures, continuous contracts, so that we can have a better idea of what we're trying to do here. Okay, now this is a basic candlestick chart. I'll just show you in the layers tab. Okay, there's nothing here except the candlesticks. Okay, this is the activity for the last few days. Now, what is market profile? Market profile is a way of displaying or organizing the auction data going on in the market with respect to price and time. Okay, whereas profile represents the market auction with respect to price and volume. It is just a way of organizing data, and what we see in these two profiles, that is the market profile and volume profile, is the auction or the auction that is going on between the buyers and the sellers, as you may call it, in represented in the form of time or volume. Okay, so uh, let's start by adding the indicator market profile. Okay, so what we have here on the toolbar bar is the indicators. You can just go over there. Okay, type in market profile. Okay, and here you get market profile. Okay, let me this the default settings that I have. Okay, so let us reset everything so that we can start from the beginning. Okay, let's switch everything off and start from the very beginning. Okay, okay, starting with TPO. What is TPO? TPO stands for time price opportunity. Okay, now time price opportunity is the basic building block of market profile. Okay, each half an hour of the trading day is designated by a letter. Okay, so for Nifty, if we take for example, the letter A represents the auction going on in the market from 9:15 to 9:45. Okay, so in this manner, we have a letter designated for each half an hour. So for our trading session, we have 13 letters starting from A to N. Okay, and again, for every half an hour, we have one letter. So now let's start uh, enabling every feature that we have here. Okay. Now, auto TPO. What does this do? Either what the auto TPO would do according to the algorithm, which I believe depends on the volatility of a particular instrument. For example, if there's a huge volatility in the past few days, it will select a TPO which you can automatically. It could be 8, it could be 9, depending on the range for the past few days that we've been having. If it has been a balanced market for the past few days, we wouldn't have a wide TPO. So it's up to you what you select. So let us first enable the letters. Okay, now let's start enabling each and every setting over there, so that we can have a better idea of what's in the market profile. Okay, firstly, let's increase the width here, and later on I'll adjust everything. Okay, uh, and let's go. Okay, so what I've done here is put in a 3 TPO setting for the Nifty futures. That is, I've not selected the auto TPO. Now what it does is, for every price movement of 1 rupee, or in our case over here, sorry, 3 rupees, there will be a movement of 1 box or the TPO count here. Okay, so if it moves 3 rupees, I'll move this box up by 1. Okay, so this way I'll keep moving up till the time the price keeps moving up by 3. I can select anything I want. If I select 1 as the TPO size, You can see the TPO numbers just increased drastically. Okay, so it becomes a little difficult to watch the letters. It's totally a personal choice. If you select auto TPO on the other hand, you can see right away. You can see the whole chart in front of your eyes, because what the algorithm has done is adjusted the TPO size in accordance with the volatility for the past few days, in accordance with the range for the past few days. Okay, now let's make the chart a little more clean. Let's take out the hollow candle. Okay, now you can see this is the basic market profile structure for the past few days for Nifty futures. Okay, now let's add some functionalities to this chart. Okay, so let's first keep it in the auto TPA mode. We will discuss the various combinations and permutations of using market profile and volume profile later on. Okay, what does background do? Okay, you can just see what it does. It just adds boxes behind. Okay, what you can do in conjunction with using the background is, if you don't want to see the letters at all, is just choose this tab. You just see the boxes. Okay, it hides the letters all together. Okay, so this is one setting. Let's move on. What is TPO count? TPO count is nothing but the count on each and every row that you have. Okay, let me see. We have to enable some more settings. Okay, we'll just go on. Let's add a value area. Okay, what is value area? Okay, it's the area where the volume or is approximately 70% of the day's business that has been conducted, which is roughly equal to one standard deviation. This is logical for the middle part of a bell-shaped curve where most activity occurred. For example, this is a proper bell-shaped curve. So if you switch on the value area, what you would realize is that this is the place where the maximum business took place. Okay. Similarly, for this profile, this is the place where maximum business took place. Okay. So similarly, for every structure that we had for the past few days, we can see where the maximum business, that is 68% or 70%, whatever you may define it, and we'll discuss it later, of the business occurred. It's just called value area. The top part of this value area is called value area high, and the bottom part is called the value area low. Okay, this dot, what you see, is the open. We'll discuss this as soon as we go into the settings further on. Okay, next we move on to what is POC. POC stands for point of control. This is the longest line of TPOs closest to the center of the daily range. So as soon as I switch it on, you can see this is the longest line, the widest in the given day structure. So this has been highlighted here with the red line. Okay, moving on, what is PPOC? It is a prominent point of control. Now this is a point of control which has been wider than the usual in the past few days. Okay, so as soon as I switch it on, I have another setting for 9. So what is this 9? It is if a point of control has been for 9 TPOs long, I want to designate it as a prominent point of control. So let's go into the charts in details. Over here, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has been designated as a prominent point of control. You see this line? It's a little thicker than usual. Similarly, over here, okay, it's a little thicker than usual. Similarly, in this perfect bell-shaped profile, it is a little thicker than this one. Okay, this is just a point of control. Okay, so again, this setting, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. This setting can be changed whatever you like. Well, if you we have, as I discussed, we have 13 letters in a session for Nifty. So you can just choose out of the 13. If a day has 10 in a given row as point of control, I will designate as prominent point of control. You can go as much as 13 if you want. It's totally entirely up to you. What I generally like to use is somewhere between 9 to 10, because if it is 9, Well, it is 9 into 30 minutes. The price has been at that particular level at least once. Okay, so for me, uh, personally, I would like to know where this price was. Why was somebody interested in that particular level so much? Okay, so you can set it as 10 over here. Okay, let us go move on to the next setting. IB. What does IB stand for? It is initial balance. Okay, the price range resulting from the market activity during the first two periods, that is the A and B. So the first 1 hour of our session, that is 9:15 to 10:15 for Nifty, would designate the IB. You see, as soon as I switch it on, you see a blue line over there, and it is designated by as the initial balance. Okay. Now, once you go deeper into market profile, you would realize if this why display this. It holds a very important place in market profile. It is of great significance to I would not say predicting to uh, what well analyzing what the different scenarios could be in the later part of the session, that is after the first hour. Okay, and that is what market profile does. It gives you an idea what the market can and cannot do, and what the odds are of the market doing. Okay, that definitely gives you an edge. Okay, moving on. What is the value area percentage? As we discussed, this is the value area percentage. Now you can change it to whatever you want. If you feel that the whole day is a value area, you can just choose 100%. If you want only 50%, you can choose 50%. But generally, uh, I for sure use it as 70%, and a lot of other traders who believe in the profile would normally set it to 70%. And this, as I said, corresponds to one standard deviation. Okay, so uh, let's remove the background from here, and what we have is the letter that we expect. Okay, just a minute. Let us switch off this setting. Okay, let's go to the auto. And there we have it. Okay, now there is much more information in this chart than we had when all the settings were off. Okay, so what, I'll just give you an example. What is the information I'm talking about? Okay, now clearly what I see in just one glance is that the market, that is Nifty, for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sessions has been in balance. Okay, what is balance? Balance is we have two concepts in market profile. One is balance, and the other is excess. Okay, so balance is that there was a two-way option, and none of either the buyers or the sellers were taking control of the present auction right now. Okay, so in the past 9 sessions, we have seen an attempt, you may call it, while in the hindsight it looks like an attempt. After 11,250, we see it break because it's not done that in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions before this one. Okay, it breaks above this small balance over here, what you see here. Let me show it to you. Okay, this small balance here, and then it tries to go up. Okay, and let us take this out in this session. Similarly, what we should have had is a follow through. It doesn't happen. What happens? Another balance area here, a third one here. Okay, these are all either overlapping or overlapping lower. Okay, and so on. And what it does, it goes back into the balance area for the previous 9 days. Okay, so we have a balance in the past 9 few sessions. So now, with some of the basic features that we just enabled, we're able to have so much more information in these charts. Okay, let's move on. Okay, what is split? Okay, this is very useful within a day to know how the auction happened within a day. Let me show it to you. Once you enable this auction, okay, I'll just explain what the last profile means. It just means that this split profile would be enabled only for the last profile. Okay, So what do we have here? Let's expand it further so that we can just have a better view of the last session. Okay, this is the wide initial balance. So what do we expect in the wide initial balance? It is below yesterday's balance. The value has been established lower, and what split profile does is it gives me an overview of what happened in each half an hour, okay, in each letter, which probably I wouldn't have been able to decipher in one look if I had a complete profile structure here. So I know that the market tried to auction in the F, G, J, and K periods till the value area high, but was not successful. Okay, this might come in handy for the next day or subsequent days. So it's a small nuance would which can be kept in your mind. It is a small data point. I'm not saying that you use this for your trade or taking a trade or taking a position. It's just a nuance that can be kept in your mind for the upcoming days. Okay, this nuance would not have been visible if I wouldn't be seeing the split profile. You see, you have no idea. You just see the bell shaped curve. Okay, moving on. You can also select all the profiles to be in split mode. So you see all profiles and you see every little move for every half an hour in the previous two sessions displayed on the chart. But I prefer the last profile if I want to have a reference point for the last few days. For example, these two single frames or this single frame in the later part of the day. This actually is not a single print because it is taken out the single print of the initial balance. But I'm just giving you an example. This one, yes, it has some value because, as I said, it takes out uh, the high of the previous few days and it acts as a reference for the following sessions. Okay, you can just mark it and set it back to the last profile mode. Okay, so this is split. Let's move on. Okay, let's disable this for now. Single print. Now I just used that terminology single print a little while ago. So single print in a structure is a place or TPOs where there was no other TPO from another time period. For example, over here you see F. There is no other time period here. How is this of significance? Well, I know it was a strong initiative activity. It could be a responsive activity as well. So there was some sort of aggressiveness in this, okay? Because the market had done nothing but remain inside the initial balance till the F period, and in the F period, it takes off and forms another distribution on top. Okay, and what separates these distributions is the single price. So again, you have a marker here showing which could be used as reference in the following sessions. What happens the next day? It's taken out, so it's not of any use to us now. But if the market would have rallied further up and not failed like this, it would have been of some significance. So similarly, you can have these single prints shown as a marker. Okay, moving on, let's set it up. Now we come to this part. This part is the width of the market profile you want here. What is not being shown here is volume profile corresponding to the market profile structure. So if I want to enable this, I just have to enable show VPVR and reduce this width percentage. This percentage over here displays the width percentage for the market profile. So let's set it to 70. Okay, and and we have to enable these as well. What do you want? The session volume profile or the composite volume profile? As we discussed earlier, volume profile is a way of organizing data with respect to price and volume. So we don't have the time component here. Okay, so there you go. So this is the session volume. If we switch on the composite volume, we have the composite volume here. Okay, so this is the chart with which we started. Okay, now you can go ahead and tweak the settings as you like. Okay, you can go ahead and decrease the percentage of width that you want for market profile and let us set it to 50. Now you have a better understanding. Let's go further down, 40. Okay, so what I have here is a market profile along with the volume profile. Okay, so yes, so this is the place, this is the bell-shaped curve for the market profile. Similarly, this, the brighter part, is the value area for volume profile. Okay, so if you want the POC for volume profile also to be displayed, you can just go down here and select the POC. So you see the difference. Right here we have the same POC. This line what you see is the POC for the composite profile on the right, extreme right hand side of your chart. Okay, this one. Okay, you, if you want, you do not want the composite volume profile, you can disable it. Okay. Now another question that you might have in your mind is, how is this volume profile being displayed? It is nothing but the visible range of the profiles in this chart for which this is being plotted. So you want, if you just see it changing, see, the larger number of sessions you have, the more profile, wider the profile gets. Okay, so like we discussed, the 9 sessions of balance which we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, for this, where was the maximum volume traded? This is it, 11110. Okay, on the upside, this is another one. Okay, the POC for this whole session, for the whole past few sessions, we can add another 6, 7 here, is this point. Okay, somewhere close to 1100. So it becomes an important reference. Okay, the value area for these sessions, the last 15 sessions, is the one which is in bright. Okay, this is big, this becomes the value area low. Similarly, above it becomes the value area high for volume profile. Okay, so this is what we can do with volume profile, sorry, along with market profile. The other settings what we have here are the colors that you can change. This is the color for the volume profile. You can just change and light, dark, whatever you want. Okay, you can go ahead, you can see that change. Okay, so let us go back to what we had initially on the chart, if I can get it back. uh, let me give this. Okay, okay, stroke again, if you want uh, I mean distinctions in between, you can see that this box is coming in between. I do not like it, so I would like plain chart. Right. That's it. POC we just discussed. You can change the color of the POC. You can change the color of the single print. Last value is the value of the price that was last created. You can disable it, enable it. Name is just the name of the instrument. You want it, you don't want it, you can select it from here. Okay, so this is the market profile and volume profile indicator. Okay, now let us move on to the volume profile indicator, which we can enable independently. Okay, so let's disable this. Let's have the hollow candles back. Okay, so this is the chart we have. Okay, now we have another indicator called simply the volume profile. Okay, let's select this. Do you see? Now this does not have market profile, but only the volume profile on the left hand side of the chart, similar to what we had with market profile. So what it does is, it does not give you the market profile, and because what some people like is using market profile and volume profile differently on charts, so that they are able to look at the edges, the high volume nodes and the low volume nodes in a better manner. Okay, so let's delete this market profile from it. Okay, so the same thing, let us also do one more thing, so we have a clearer picture. Wow, now this is better. I really like this one. Okay, now you can see the volume profile for the past few sessions, and this gives you the POC, the volume, how the market has been auctioning in the past few days. So the structure here would be quite similar to market profile, sometimes different, depends on the volume traded. Now when the session ends, for example this place will have a large volume, but in the market profile this wouldn't be as wide, because it doesn't display the huge volumes that go into while the session is ending. Okay, similarly for other sessions. Okay, So what we had in the volume profile, similar 9 sessions are here. So we have the POCs for all the 9 sessions, the virgin ones being extended, the last price being shown here. So everything almost is similar. Now, if you want to see these candlesticks better and the volume profile to be behind, there are two ways to do it. Okay, you can go into the layers tab, you can simply move the volume profile on top and the hour candle down. There you go. You can see the candles better. Further, if you want the candles are disrupting you, you can go and choose OHLC and have the HLC they selected. This is the HLC mode. So, and you can select a color which is lighter on the eyes and so on. Okay, or you can simply go ahead and disable this and see only volume profile. Now let us go into the volume profile settings. Auto bin is similar to what we had over there. So auto bin again will display the profile in the algorithm calculating with respect to the volatility and the range of the past few days, like we discussed in market profile. Manual, it again you can just select you want the block size to increase. Look what happens. Okay, it's again all totally up to you. You want to go further, very fine. There we go. Okay, by session is every session. Okay, this we'll move on later, uh, where we can just select a portion of the day or portion of few days, uh, which is called the fixed range volume profile and market profile. We'll discuss it a little later. Show main is again the composite profile, like we had in the market profile section, okay, where we had the volume profile along with the market profile. Over here, we can enable it as well. Okay, the width again, you can change it as you want. It keeps whatever you want. Okay, so I'll keep it to 20 to have a holistic view of whatever is there. Value area similar to what is there in market profile. Like in market profile, it is 70% of the time where the maximum business was conducted. This corresponds to 70% of the volume where the maximum business was conducted. Okay, so if we choose 70, similarly, we have the brighter part, what we had in market profile as well. The volume profile linked with the market profile. The brighter part is the value area, the other part is the value area low or the high, depending on where we are. Okay. So let us get us back to 100 and see how it looks. Okay, even if the value area is not switched on, you can have an idea of where the value was. You can see these peaks, the high volume nodes. Okay, so you have an idea where business was. Okay, moving on. What do we have remaining? Is the colors is similar to what we have in market profile. You can choose what you want. This is for the candlesticks or the OHLC charts. Okay. Okay. So this we are done with volume profile. Okay. Now let's move on to the combination, the permutations we were talking about. Okay. Let's take this out. Let's have the candles on OHLC candles. Okay. These are the 30-minute candles for the past two sessions. Now, as we can see here, I talked about balance the past 9 sessions. I can see it here as well. So this is the area I'm talking about. Okay, this area. Okay. Now, uh, I want to see is how was the volume or how's the volume, that is one, and how much time was spent in these levels, okay, in individual levels within this balance area. Okay, so what do? We have two options. Okay, that is other than the market profile and volume profile settings I just discussed. It's called fixed range market profile or fixed range volume profile. What I've done here is I've added them to the favorite set. You could do the same. You could just go here, go go to the drawings here, and go to the shapes and text, and you have them here. Okay, you can just click on this heart button here and it will add it here. Okay, so let's start with the fixed range market profile as I was discussing. Okay, this is the range which I want to examine. So I go from here to here, and there you have it. You have a profile for this range. Okay, we see this is a good bell-shaped distribution with some sort of a distribution right on top above the value area high. Okay, so this is the value area high for the last two sessions. Okay, the market auctions above the value area high for some time, gets back, again goes up and gets back. This is for the past 9 sessions. Okay, this is the value area low below which the market hasn't auctioned much. So you see, for these sessions, you get an idea of what the auction was like. Okay. Similarly, you could do the same thing for the last week, last 10 days, last month, whatever you want. You can just go on and keep adding wherever you feel there is significance. Okay, wherever you feel it would add value to your analysis or to understanding what has been going on. You see, I can just keep adding. This is one balance, moves out of balance, moves into another area over there. This is the other balance. This is the value of that balance. Okay, and so on. You can just, it's up to your imagination and the way you use it. Okay, there you go. That's the third balance. Okay, so let's delete. I think. Okay, let's delete. This is market profile. Let's move on to the volume profile setting. It's a similar thing, just like market profile. You go, you select, you get the volume profile. Okay, this the brighter part is the value area. Okay, similarly, as we we're discussing, whatever you think is of significance, go here, value area, go here, value area, and so on. Okay, you have a better look like this. You can just keep doing what you want. Okay, so let's delete this as well. Let us have this on. Okay, now moving on, one more setting that I would like to discuss because it concerns with market profile and volume profile. Uh, it's called the VWAP or the anchored VWAP. As you may see, both have their significance. We just discussed them. Okay, let's have the plain chart back. Okay, this is the 30-minute chart for the past 2 days. This is not an excess or a tail. This was just some weird trade that happened a few days ago. So I don't think any orders traded below this point. I basically you should not consider this as a tail. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Why I was saying this is because when I come to the anchored VWAP, it becomes of some significance. But as we know, this is just an anomaly. Okay. So let's first discuss the VWAP. Okay. Let's have the volume profile enabled again. Okay. So that we have this has been enabled for the session. Okay. And let us take it, sorry, let's take it back. You can see the candlesticks as well. Okay. Now, this is the chart for the previous few days. Okay. Now, if we add, let's go to the indicators. Let's add VWAP. Okay. Now, this is giving the VWAP for, let us check, it's anchored. Okay, let's have this, let's first discuss the session VWAP. Okay. Now, this is for every session, so it starts afresh. This is one session, the second session, third session. So it's basically a continuation from the last few sessions. I mean the last sessions. Okay. So what I have is I have enabled the triangular pattern. You can simply have a line so that you can see it properly. Okay, there you go. Okay. Now this is one part. So whenever you are in a, let's go to the 5-minute chart. Okay. So we have the VWAP, which is another important reference point which a lot of traders use. Okay, so this is the VWAP. Now, what do I mean by the anchored VWAP? I can just anchor the VWAP on important points or important reference points that I feel may be of significance moving down in the future. Okay, so Let's go back to the 30 minutes chart. Okay, what do I mean by significance? So as we were talking about balance, this is the place where the market has moved out of balance. Okay, we had seen some buying from these levels which carried the market up to here. Okay, so this is what I think would be of significance later down the road. So what do? I just go ahead. This is the chart. I go further down detail, and this is the place where I see a lot of activity took place. What else can we do to be sure about it? We can just go into the volume. So you see the volume here. There was a spike, okay, late in the day, and what happened after that was one time frame right up till 11,200. Okay, so what do? We just right click here, add anchor VWAP. There you go. This VWAP has an anchor from this place where I feel is the last place from where a lot of buying came in. Okay, so how does it help? What it tells me is this is the average price for the buyers that came into control at that point. So this is the price they're likely to defend. Okay, so what do we see in the past few sessions? Whenever there was, again, this you need not consider as I was talking about earlier, whenever there has been an attempt to come here, there has been a rally back up. Only in the last session have we had a clear breakdown below this period. Okay, so this is how it can be of significance. Okay, it can be a reference point. Okay, again, you don't use it to take positions. Uh, I mean, you don't solely take positions on just this anchored visa. It's just another data point in your analysis that you're doing. Similarly, let's take out everything again. Let's take out the volume profile, and you can go as further back as you want. Okay, let's take the daily profile. Okay, and this is the point from where what people generally call the bottom or the top. Okay, the bottom was on top. This is the place from where you saw a good rally up. Okay, so what do? This was the place where a lot of volume was traded as well, as you can see. Okay, just right click, add anchor review. Now this is another reference point. So like people have moving averages, this one is solely dependent on the volume. Okay, and the average price in accordance with the volume being traded. Similarly, you go right back onto the top from where the downfall started, click there, add anchor VWAP. Again, another one. Okay, so you will find subtle nuances, okay, which you can use in your daily trading, whether you're again when you're analyzing the market on a shorter time frame or a longer time frame. Okay, so this is another reference point. Okay, this one, if you see, is another one from where the market bounced back and carried right up till where it is right now. You can just add another one here. You see, so you can keep going this like this on a shorter time frame, on an intermediate time frame, or a longer time frame. Okay, so that is the significance of the anchor view. Okay, that's it for now. That is all I wanted to discuss about the various features concerning market profile and volume profile in GoChatting.com.